Fellas, do you know that 153 Palestinians have landed in Johannesburg, South Africa, or Tambo Airport, and nobody knows where they came from? "153 Palestinians, children, men, elderly people, women, pregnant women have landed in Johannesburg, South Africa at the airport with no proper documentation." So basically the papers they have no stamps, like exit stamp, to tell where they came from. They are in Johannesburg. Now, after investigation by the immigration system, not knowing what to do with them, they found out that the flight was chartered from Nairobi, Kenya. From Nairobi, Kenya, look at the map. From Nairobi, Kenya, it flew all the way to Johannesburg with 153 people, including families, children, women, 9-month pregnant women. Obviously, immigration officials did not know what to do. They had to contact their superior on how to treat the situation. The Border Management Authority confirmed that the group lacked proper documentation but processed them through immigration after checks. So, President of South Africa, this man right here, Cyril Ramaphosa, allowed them to enter the country.
And these are people from Gaza who somehow mysteriously were put on a plane that passed by Nairobi and came here. And I got to hear about it from my Minister of Home Affairs, wanting to know what do we do now. And I said, we cannot turn them back.
He ordered them to come into the country because he feels that Palestinians have been suffering for too long. Therefore, if there's a place where they will be welcomed, it is in South Africa. These Palestinians apparently have not asked for asylum, so they did not say we want to be asylum seekers in South Africa. But the president said they can stay if they want. The Department of Home Affairs clarified that Palestinians did not apply for asylum. They were admitted after humanitarian consideration. So basically South Africa said, you know what? We see you. We see that you're suffering. I mean, look at your homes are all gone. Look at Gaza. It's bad, bad, bad. So South Africa, like most African countries used to be back in time when we were good people, they say we're good people. Let's let you in. Yes, Africans used to be good people many, many years ago. They accepted everybody. That's how they accepted Europeans into their countries. Then the Europeans brought them evangelization, praying God, the way you pray to God today. Then later on, when they learned to pray God, their eyes closed. The Europeans had the land and they had the Bible. Somebody said, when they came with the Bible. We had the land, right? They taught us how to pray with our eyes closed. By the time we open our eyes, they had the land, we had the Bible. Is that correct or not? Some Africans can beat the hell out of you in the name of the Bible. Yeah, you will become the enemy because you don't believe what they're talking about in the Bible. Yeah, some of them even cut out their family members because of the Bible. I don't understand if that makes sense. I mean, the Bible is supposed to unite people, bring families together. But many people don't even speak to their family members. I know people who've cut out their parents completely because they don't go to the church. I know people who have called their mothers witch because she doesn't go to the church. And I don't understand, if you go to church and you pray, shouldn't you have like a powerful God that overstamps all the powers of the witches and stuff? Shouldn't you just like show them love and crumple all their power? I don't understand that. But it's only African Christian that will tell you, don't give to the poor because you don't know what power they have. They may take your money and subject to some incantation and you're not going to have money anymore. I don't know which verse of the Bible says that. Don't give money to the poor because if you do so, you're going to lack of money. So basically, South Africa has been very generous through the president, Cyril Ramaphosa. He says they investigated the airplane and what they found out, the plane came from Kenya. Now the question is, how did Kenya do this? Where did these people come from? Palestinian, 153 people with documentation but no stamps of leaving the country. No exit stamp to show that they've come from which country. That's just been done on purpose. Is this a way from the country you don't aim to evacuate people into other land? I'm just asking. Because apparently they want the land. So let's get these Palestinians out of here. We can send them somewhere to Kenya. Kenya will send them to South Africa, since South Africa seems to be very friendly to the Palestinians. Is that a possibility? Evacuation to make the land available. I mean, if you've been bombarded in a place and they give you an opportunity to jump in a flight and go somewhere else, would you take it? Most people would take it, right? Now, the other question is, as much as South Africa is welcoming, they've approached these people, they've let them in. President Cyril Ramaphosa has been very clear about it. These people have gone through the most. Let's allow them in the country.
Even though they do not have the necessary documents and papers, these are people from a strife-torn, a war-torn country. And out of compassion, out of empathy, we must receive them and be able to deal with the situation that they are facing.
What are the risks in the future? I mean, you need to be thinking about risks, right? I mean, you shouldn't be stupid, okay? It's great. Sometimes you help people, then they change. I'm just saying, right? You need to think about the risks. Because what are the unities between a Palestinian person and a South African person? I'm just saying, where do they meet each other? I know South Africa is a very diverse country. White people, Indian, Chinese and stuff, different people. But the bottom line is they are South Africans because their ancestors lived together. So very slowly they started shifting toward one another and building a community and a culture that is South African. That's all of them subscribe to. Like eating boerewors. You see this? It's called boerewors. All of them eat it. White people, Indians, colored, blacks, they all eat it. So they have created a culture. You see this? This is a braai. All South Africans eat a braai. Like Indian, white, black, colored. All of South Africans eat it. Now, do the Palestinians subscribe to this? Question mark. Number two, Palestinians in most cases are Muslim. Okay, so not that there aren't Muslims in South Africa, but Islam has many type of reasoning. I'm just saying. I mean, look at Nigeria. You have Boko Haram fighting other Muslims, but they are Nigerians. I mean, is this something you would be stupid not to think about these things? I'm just saying. Like, what if these Palestinians go to South Africa and then they start missing home? Or what if they feel like South Africa don't pray enough? Okay, they party a little too much. They're a little bit noisy with their music. I mean, I understand you. Sometimes you go to a place and you change. I mean, remember, the Ukrainians went to the UK after war started in Ukraine. You know what happened? Yes, the UK accepted many Ukrainian families. Matter of fact, the UK's government incentivized many families in the UK saying, if you accept a Ukrainian family, we're going to give you money. Okay? We're going to give you money for accepting Ukrainian family. Many did so. You know what happened later? Well, the Ukrainians in the UK were not happy because they felt like the UK had way too many Muslims and black people. They started complaining.
I have her complain about the demographic of the school and going, well, he can't be safe there. There's not enough white kids, essentially. The majority of my neighbours are Muslims. A lot of them are Kashmiris or Pakistanis, Indians.
So what if something similar happens with the Palestinians when they say, well, we feel like South Africa is a little too diverse. These people shouldn't be mixing with those ones. Or maybe we don't like it the way it is. People should be praying 5 times a day and people who don't pray 5 times. I'm just saying, a lot of things like this has happened in the past. There's nothing new on earth. Do you know this place? It's called Hawaii. You see, Hawaii is in America. You know what happened with Hawaii? Hawaii had native people of Hawaii, Hawaiians, okay? Hawaiians had their kingdoms and their king, the King Kamehameha. This was an Hawaiian king. You know what happened? Well, people from Europe, not to say white people, they went to Hawaii to go preach Hawaiians about God. Let's pray God. Your God is not the real God. We have a real God. Pray the real God. The Hawaiian native people, because they were friendly like Africans, accepted all these Europeans into their land. You know what happened next? The next thing was, okay, now we're just going to teach your children in school. We're not interested in anything else. We're not going to enter your politics. No, we're just preaching the gospel. That's it. Well, those Europeans started making babies. They made babies and more babies. Then they became old and they died. You know what happened next? Their children grew up learning the European style, the European mentality, the European way of life. But they felt that they belonged to the land. So they wanted to be guided by themselves. Why? Because they felt like Kamehameha and all Hawaiians were not ruling Hawaii appropriately enough for their liking. Therefore, what did they do? They overthrew the government or the kingdom or the monarchy, whatever you want to call it. In 1893, a group of mostly white businessmen and descendants of missionaries, backed by the US Marine, overthrew Queen Lili Okalali, the last monarch of Hawaii. Okay, see, this was not a war in traditional sense, but it was a coup d'etat. Native Hawaiians resisted, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. So they came with the gospel, ended up making babies and telling you believe in God And their babies grew up with their mentality and they say, we don't like the way you rule because we belong too. We were born here. Is this something that could happen in South Africa with the Palestinians? I'm not creating nothing. I'm just presenting a possibility. Africa, in most cases, have a lot of Africans, black people. I know here and there you find patches of people that look different, but in most cases, a lot of black people. Well, the Palestinians are running away for good reason. There's war because somebody's fighting them at their home. They have to go somewhere. But when they go somewhere, maybe those people will not do anything. What about their children when they're born? They will feel like they belong. I was born here. You ain't gonna tell me nothing with your Zulu head or with your Nigerian head. Forget about the Nigerian. That's what it is, fellas. It's always a great pleasure. Let me know how you feel about this. President Cyril Ramaphosa is a good man. He's an African man in the proper sense. He has defended African people in South Africa that were being persecuted by a group of South African people that are xenophobic. This group of people go through the streets trying to beat people up and chase people and look at their face. Your face looks Nigerian. We don't need to see your paper. Your face looks Nigerian. No, they don't say that, but something very similar. You won't get medication and medicine because you're not local. Some stuff like that.
They must go to where they belong. They not belong to South Africa. They must go.
But President Cyril Ramaphosa said, don't touch those people. Don't touch those Africans. If you do that, you're going against the law because you're not immigration. You're going to be thrown in jail. So he's very vocal, very loving as a person. Now, is the love going a little too far away? Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.